Hello. How to be a billionaire at a youngest age is quite difficult. But now we will give you 5 self-made billionaires who owe everything to their families in early age. We will start with number 1, Elon Musk. A permanent member of the South African diaspora, Elon Musk is known for his role in creating PayPal, SpaceX, Tesla Motors, and any number of radical ideas for transportation and technology. Elon actually comes from a long line of overachievers. His parental grandparents were the first people to fly from South Africa to Australia. His maternal grandmother was Canada's first Queen Potter, and his mother is a model who recently appeared not on the cover of New York magazine at the age of 63. A big early influence was his father, Paul, an engineer and serial entrepreneur who has been credited with inspiring his love of technology, not least by buying him his first computer, a Commander VIC-10, at the age of 9. Despite this, Musk's childhood was not particularly carefree. He was bullied at school, and multiple accounts have described his relationship with his father as unhappy and borderline abusive. Elon has said that his own children will not be allowed to meet ill, and Elon does have a better claim to be self-made than the other billionaires on his list. At 17, he defied his parents and left South Africa in order to avoid compulsory military service, explaining that serving in South Africa Army suppressing black people just didn't seem like a really good way to spend time. He struggled through university in Canada. At one point, he was living on less than $1 a day before dropping out of grad school at Stanford after just 2 days to find a company called Zip2, which he later sold for $307 million. Still, it seems that he was inspired by his impressive family. As his sister explains, without sounding patronizing, it does seem that our family is different from other people. We risk more. Number 2, Richard Branson. As we all know, he is the founder of Virgin Group. Is famous for the publicity stunts, his playboy lifestyle, and his amazingly diversified investment portfolio. With over 80 companies ranging from airlines to banks to music publishing. In fact, the Virgin name is now so widespread that Branson is not actually an investor in many of the companies bearing it, but is essentially just leasing them the brand rights. Experience thought Branson that many new investments fail. Hence, his ADD like benches for diversification, but he didn't start exactly from scratch. He wasn't good at school. From dyslexia, his father was a well-to-do barrister and grandfather was Sir George Branson, a high court judge and member of Privy Council. They provided Richard with stability and financial safety net, as well as a network of contacts that most startup entrepreneurs could only dream of. Nonetheless, Branson and friends Nick Paul, co-founder of Virgin Group, admitted they had a lot to learn and choose the name Virgin because their inexperience. Number 3, Bill Gates. A foundational math of Microsoft is that Bill Gates was a prodigy who started programming at the age of 13. But in 1968, it took much more than smartest to become a programming wise kid. This was before the age of personal computing, and it was extremely rare for a college to have access to a computer, much less a middle or high school. But Bill was lucky enough to have wealthy parents who enrolled him in Seattle's exclusive lakeside school. When a local company offered to donate computer time to the school, Bill's mother, Mary, helped to organize a rummage sale to purchase a teletype terminal for the school to access it on. Bill and his friend Paul Allen were by the machine and soon came to dominate the school computer lab, developing the skills that would serve them well later in life. So, while Bill Gates was unquestionably a natural when it came to programming, he probably wouldn't have had a chance to discover it until much later and had it not been for his parents. His mom might have come to the rescue again years later. When computing giant IBM asked Microsoft to design an operating system for the new PC, Mary Gates was on the board of United Way, as was IBM CEO John Apple, and it has been suggested that she might have introduced Apple to her son's fledgling software company. Bill has also credited his mother's charitable activities with inspiring his own legendary philanthropic endeavors. Number 4. The Koch brothers. While Charles Koch tries to sell his book, The Science of Success, as a surefire guide to the business world, the fact is that he and his brothers indisputably owe a lot of their father, Fred Koch, who kick-started the family's wealth by working for Stalin's Soviet Union during the 1920s and 30s, building a company which is eventually passed on to his children. Fred has partnered with two former University Oil Products engineers to develop a new oil refining technique. Unfortunately, it closely resembled a patented technique owned by Universal Oil Products, and the resulting lawsuit drove his company out of business in the US, although he won the lawsuits in the end. Instead, Fred went into business with the Soviet Union, who commissioned him to train, engineer, and build 15 new refineries. Here, the Soviet deal saved the Koch fortune, but it left Fred with a deep hatred on communism and government regulation, which he passed on to his sons. The government abuses he saw in Russia weren't enough for him to pull out of the deal. But the Kochs have never had a problem separating business from ideals. For example, Charles and David Koch have long called for an end of unthinkable soulbite while direction provided from them through their own eternal business. The anti-war libertarian brothers have also made millions from contacts with Department of Defense. At least, their books are consistent with libertarian thought, even if the same cannot be said of their actual business practices. Now, number 5 and the last one. Donald Trump. The real estate mogul thought being self-made, so lovely that even the BBC, supposedly a beacon of quality reporting, once bought into it. But the real self-made Trump was his father, Fred. The patriarch of the Trump family became wealthy in Robert Massa's age, building a formidable housing for low-income families after starting his own construction company while in high school. Fred eventually built more than 27,000 homes in Queens and Brooklyn and made a personal fortune of up to $300 million in the process. Unlike his flashy son, Fred Trump was known as a frugal man who would walk around construction sites picking up dropped nails to give back to his carpenters, and who often personally took extreme manager duties in his buildings. And while the attention-seeking Donald proudly touts his ownership of Trump Tower, Trump Plaza, and the Trump Taj Mahal Casino, Fred had also recently talked into districtly naming one of his apartment buildings Trump Village. Fred's cash and connections helped his son get his start as a developer, and this inheritance arguably saved Donald in the 1990s when he reportedly needed a $20 million loan from his siblings to stay afloat. So thank you for today. Don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and share it with all your friends. Also, follow us on Facebook and Instagram accounts. Thank you so much. See you next episode. Goodbye.